Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. In this video, we are playing with this new UV light. It's an advanced UV light, and I have to say, I think it's a total game changer for the UV resin world. It's double-sided guys, which means it cures from above and below at the same time. This is from Let's Resin. They did send this to me. I am an affiliate for Let's Resin, so everything will be detailed below. But I've been holding on to this for about a week and a half, and I've just been so excited to use it. Now, the mold I'm going to use in this video purely to have a play and try it out is this mold here. Now, this came with the UV Resin starter kit from Let's Resin. Again, an amazing kit, so much in one bundle. If you're thinking about UV, it's perfect. Now, usually when you do UV resin, you have to flip the mold over so that your UV light also cures the bottom just as well as the top. But with this, there's absolutely no need to flip your molds anymore because it is double-sided. This is what it is looking like. First off, I thought it looks like a space capsule of some kind. It's magnetic. They both stick together unbelievably. Now, after I kind of peeled off all of the protective layers, I did notice they've got two power points. So both units have power points and power buttons. So then I realized they're two separate units, and you can use them if you don't need double-sided. You can just use one at a time, so like one of the units. The first thing we have to do is take the protective layer off of this acrylic sheet. This acrylic sheet is going to go in between both of those capsules, and then you're going to rest your mold on top of it. And we're taking off the protective layer to make sure that maximum light exposure is given to the mold, of course. Once this is taken off, it literally becomes a crystal clear acrylic sheet. As soon as I removed the protective layers from both sides of this acrylic sheet, it honestly slid back into these capsules so much easier. It did have a bit of resistance when it was fully coated in that protection, but this is what it's looking like. We have 360 degrees of UV light. Now, it has 3 mode buttons. And the best part about this machine is it goes up to 5 minutes. The UV light I've been using this whole time only goes up to 1.5 minutes, and then I have to go back and press it again, go back and press it again. So to have 5 minutes is amazing. Now, it does come with an American plug, so you will need a plug adapter. I've got this universal, global, literally can adapt to any plug on the planet. So it's absolutely perfect. So you will need one of these. Now, the power button you'll see is at the bottom. You put the power in before you plug it. And that's when I noticed it has a second power adapter. This is just so handy. If you do not need the 360 degree UV light, you can just use it as a single UV light for your resin. And you'd need that if you've got an opaque mold that light can't get through. If you're using a mold like that, then this is what you could just use one half of it. But yeah, I absolutely love it. This is what we're looking like when we press the button. And if you want it to run for the full 5 minutes, you just have to press the button 3 times. Now, this mold, my first instinct was to use these inlays. I got these teeny tiny miniature ridiculously small inlays from Wendy over at Toonpish Crafts, but I'm not going to use them in this video. That is coming though. I have used them. That video is coming. I also got this massive sheet of Christmas silicone inlays from Wendy at Toonpish Crafts, which I think are much more manageable for me on this day. Now, what I really wanted was to use 2 that were the same, and there's a few in here. So we've got some gorgeous nutcrackers, but my immediate gaze came straight to these gorgeous little gingerbread people. They're so cute, and I knew they would fit into these teardrop earrings. Now, I am only using the teardrop section because the rest, to me, does not scream Christmas at this point, but here we are. I am putting it onto the acrylic sheet while I work on it, so that once I'm ready for it to go into the UV light, I can just pick the acrylic sheet up and slide it straight in there. I'm going to be using the Let's Resin UV resin. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, and I think I learned this actually from Wendy, I'm going to put down a clear layer first and get that fully cured before I even think about putting my inlays in. This just gives your pieces a nice, solid, flat, fully cured finish. Sometimes when I use inlays or I'll use a stamp or something like that, it sometimes will kind of mark the bottom of the mould, so then you'll see that in your final piece. As it happens, we're going to end up top coating some of these anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered, but yes, I'm following in her direction. So 1 layer of UV resin, fully to cure on its own before inlays. I'm sliding it in under my UV lamp and I'm pressing that button 3 times. That's going to have them curing for 5 full minutes. It's actually, I know it sounds silly to say, if you've never used UV, you won't necessarily understand where I'm coming from, but to be able to put something under a UV lamp and walk away for 5 minutes, it really is a game changer, because sometimes these UV lamps only even go up to a minute and you're just sitting there pressing it, and it's time consuming, guys. As for the gingerbread people, I love these so much. I am a little bit in love with the gingerbread theme this year. If you watch my home channel, you'll see what I just got from my local garden centre. I brought you with me to the garden centre, and the gingerbread aesthetic was massive at the garden centre. So I just used my gold metallic deco colour pen to highlight all of the raised areas of these gingerbread people. I went really slowly. I sped it up for you guys, but I actually went really slowly in reality, and I don't think I needed to. Actually, I'm going to do this again, and it was so much easier to just brush the pen over really fast. But look at these. They're so cute. They're so cute, Wendy. I need a massive one. Thank you. I'm just going to lay these down now. I've poured a second layer of UV resin just to be able to lay my little gingerbread people down in there, in the hopes that the UV resin would actually pick up the gold pen. I was confident it would, but you're always a little bit nervous, you're always a little bit scared, and this is when I was like, oh, they're so cute. I zoom you in so you can see the full effect of when I peel back these little gingerbread people. How cute are they? My first initial gut feeling was, I love them. I absolutely love them. My second gut feeling was, I don't love the fact that I've pushed them in so much that the outline of the silicone inlay is visible. I wasn't a fan of that, but I decided to carry on. I'm going to brush the first one with some brown mica powder, just so that when we fill these up, we're going to get a nice, yummy, golden brown gingerbread colour. In the second one, I'm actually doing something that I also learned from Wendy at Toonfish Crafts. I've shouted her out about 50 times in this video. Wendy actually taught us ages ago, and I've never done it, to mix mica powder in with 99% isopropyl alcohol, and it actually gives you a paint. It allows you to paint your molds, or whatever it is you're doing. It allows you to paint them much neater, and mica powder is not gonna be flying everywhere like it was on my first little dude, which is why I then had to go in with a cotton bud and some alcohol just to clean up around the edges. So honestly, I like both techniques. Unfortunately, I actually blew the excess powder off, not only making quite a mess, but I didn't realise until afterwards it had kind of lost a lot of the powder. So to fill these up, we're going to be using the Let's Resin polyurethane, purely for speed, which makes this project quite a fast one. You could get things done in a day using UV resin and polyurethane. You could knock out so many different projects. The polyurethane is measurable 1:1 by volume or weight, and you have to stir it for all of 30 seconds, guys. No longer. Do not wait. I've added in a little bit of red alcohol ink because I want this to be pink. Now, the polyurethane cures white, pure white. So if you add in 1 or 2 or 3 drops of alcohol ink, it will not cure white, but what it will do is pastelize your color. So you're not going to get a deep color. It will go kind of more of a pastel shade of whatever color that was. Again, this is very sped up. You can definitely see how fast this cures. This is around about 10 minutes, but I've sped it up for you guys so you can see it in real time. Now, when it came to demold, I noticed something I don't usually notice, And that was that the ends, the backs were really bumpy and weird. Like, I don't usually get that result with polyurethane. So again, I don't know if that was the mica, I don't know if it was the gold pen or the alcohol that I used, but something had a reaction and it was almost bubbly. Now, first up, I love the pink. Oh my gosh, that colour is beautiful. But yes, my fears came to reality. I didn't like the outline of these inlays, so I did cut them down. I decided to go again. We'll have more fun. We'll go again. I trimmed these little gingerbread people down to within an inch of their life. There's no more inlay background left. I decided we're going to do something completely different. We're not even going to back these in polyurethane. We're just going to see what these turn out like if I cut them down, and the results were so much better. So if you are using silicone inlays and they've got quite a chunky area around them, I would definitely recommend cutting them down depending on what you're doing next. If I did this method first, we would never have noticed it anyway. So depending on what you're using them for, if you're going with a coloured background, I fully recommend cutting away the excess. If you're going for a clear background, don't worry about it. We won't see it. So yes, I went with a clear background on these. And now we've got floating gingerbread people in the middle of our resin pendants. Now, I think we need to take away one thing from this video. We need to really think that this video is for the machine and not for the quality results of what I've made, because whilst I had fun making these, they are not my favourite pieces. They're cute as in, I love them because they're cute, but the finish is, it's not me. Like, I've got quite a lot of bubbles in there. I could have taken more time getting those bubbles out, but I did get a lot trapped in and around those edges. Despite using my micro brush and a long neck lighter, there were definitely still some bubbles in those edges. So this is my attempt of disguising those edges, much like you would have seen in Saturday's video with the collaboration with the letter C, when the fabric didn't go all the way to the edge. Sometimes gold pen just saves your edges. So I figured I would add gold pen to those edges to hide the bubbles. And whilst I like them a lot more, I'm definitely not in love with the quality of the finish here. So again, love the project, not the finish. Anyway, let's talk about the machine. The machine worked amazingly. I mean, it really, for me, is just a game changer for two reasons. The first reason, it cures both sides at the same time, and that's only going to work in your clear and semi-transparent molds. Won't work in opaque molds like your molds and shapes molds. It won't work in those. But if you've got those semi-opaque and clear silicone molds, then game changer, absolute game changer. It's going to cure both sides at the same time for you. But also 5 minutes. Like, 5 minutes is it's just such a breakthrough. Like, why does no other machine do that? Sorry, let me just quote, no other machine that I have ever used. I'm pretty sure loads of you will be like, my machine does 10. So just letting you know, I've never seen a machine that goes up to 5 minutes. So it's a game changer for me for a couple of reasons, and those are the reasons. But here you see me just giving them a top coat just to seal that gold pen in. Again, you don't have to do this. The gold pen might come off if you scratch at it. But I'm just doing this to make them even more pretty and nuggety. I love the nugget feeling of these when they are finished. But yes, just giving them a top coat to finish them off and letting them think that I cared at this point because I wasn't that happy with the results. But yes, here we are, giving them a bit of a whack with my long neck lighter. And how cool is this? I had them sitting up on their sides because I thought actually you could just have them sitting up on their sides and all of the sides and all of the edges are also getting cured at this point. Like, I don't know, I just love it. I absolutely love it. They are so aesthetically pleasing to hold. I cannot explain it. They're like rounded, real smooth, rounded pebbles. Again, like nuggets, like little rocks. I love them. Absolutely love them. I think they're adorably cute, but the finish is just not, it's not what I would have wanted for my little gingerbread people. I'm not going to lie. The inlays though, adore. Like, how cute are these inlays? I'm crazy about gingerbread right now. I actually feel like I need to bake some. But yes, the UV light, totally love it. Worked a dream. Didn't have to flip my molds upside down. Didn't have to stand over it, pressing the button every 1 minute. Really, really love it. Let me know what you think of these. Or let me just reiterate. It's not about what I made, okay? It's not about the end result of what I made. It's about the machine. Just in case you all are like, they look like gingerbread swimming in a sea of bubbles, Claire. Yes, I know. But it was so much fun. Anyway, I prefer these ones over the polyurethane ones. I'm so glad I trimmed them down. So when I do that again with the polyurethane, I'll definitely trim down any inlays that might potentially give me that outline that I don't really like. But all of the details will be in the description box below. I hope you have enjoyed this one as much as I enjoyed making them. They were genuinely fun to make. I'm just in love with the little gingerbread. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.